don't work on your own dream, people will hire you to build their own dream.
So they're simply saying, like, I wanted to start my own startup company, or else I wanted to start my own business.
You need to solve boring problems of rich people.
What is that one mindset shift everyone should have?
Nobody is even interested. You are the right person who can solve their problems, and that's how you build their trust.
Is to find whether that idea is a sustainable idea or not.
This is a very important thing we need to focus on.
Like we need to do market analysis, market research.
Third level of awareness is they did not build this entire app. Normally, students always stick to the syllabus. Your focus on solving real, relatable problems, taking the risk, and building that courage muscle.
Will you suggest to people to go for a 9 to 5 jobs?
Okay.
Or you suggest people to work on their passion?
Little introduction about yourself.
Sure, Rajesh. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm super excited for this discussion on one of my favorite topics. So, a short description about me is I'm Prajakta Badhe. I am an employee to entrepreneur mentor. I have 10 years of corporate experience into human resources. After my 10 years journey, I turned into mentoring employees to start their own business, starting with a side hustle and then get into a full-fledged business. Apart from that, I'm author of the book Career Divorce, and I'm also a TEDx speaker at IIT Padua.
And I'm so glad to have you in the podcast. First, I would like to start with very interesting topic and very interesting question, I would say. Even people who already started their own business or people who already started their own startup might not know about this particular question. So, what is the difference between a business and a startup?
Okay, yeah. That's a very interesting question, definitely. So I'll tell you my perspective on this. Okay, so business, in terms of this particular term, is a very bigger set, whereas when you talk about a startup, it's a subset, right? Is startup a business? Yes, startup is a business, but is every business a startup? No, not every business is a startup. Okay, so what is the difference? I would say when you talk about a startup, okay, what they're looking at is not immediate profitability, right? They're looking at
Yeah, yeah.
profitability in the longer run, but they want to create trends that are disruptive in nature. Okay.
Okay.
When you talk about a traditional business, the main focus is to get in fast and to monetize fast. Okay. So
Okay.
always focused on simple ideas, solving simple.
Oh.
When you talk about a startup, they are focused on solving something innovative, which is not already existing in the market. Okay, or maybe there are a lot of glitches, right? So their main focus is
Yeah.
on innovation, whereas for a normal business, the focus is on solving simple day-to-day problems which they can monetize faster.
So completely understood, ma'am. Thank you for sharing it. And I have this fancy term which is everyone are saying and everyone are using nowadays. So when I ask students or any working professionals, what are your goals? So they're simply saying like I wanted to start my own startup company or else I wanted to start my own business. In order to think before think about starting a startup company, what is that one mindset shift they need to have? Starting a business is not like going to a market and buying something and getting and using it, right? So it is all about building something from very scratch and planning for years and years and making everything happen. So what is that one mindset shift everyone should have before even thinking to start any startup company or starting a business?
Okay. So, in terms of students, I'll make it much simpler. I'll give you an analogy. Normally, students always stick to the syllabus. Okay.
Yeah, agree.
They are just wanting to know what is there in the syllabus. They'll stick to it. They'll study it from the exam perspective. 10 expected questions, and but business is not like this. Business is
Yeah.
out of what is your syllabus. So if you are somebody who wants to get into business, you need to get out of that, syllabus zone. You should focus on problems which are out of syllabus. More about, building that courage muscle, solving, problem solving. It's not about always being a tech wizard or a genius, having, idea like Elon Musk. Okay. What is required is your focus on solving real, relatable problems, taking the risk and building that courage muscle.
So, example, I'm an average student or an average person, and my lifestyle is so simple. But I wanted to start a big organization. So, how can I find an idea? So, how can I find an ideas to start a company or else to start my own startup
Yeah.
actually?
Great. So, this is where at least 95% of the people who want to start their businesses never begin because they want to have an idea that is larger than life, that perfect idea kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I said, everybody wants to be Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, right? If you want to have a very sustainable, successful business, you need to solve boring problems of rich people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So can you please elaborate it like you said, boring problems of rich people? How
absolutely.
exactly it makes sense?
I'll give you examples. Let's take example of Airbnb.
So
Yeah.
what is that exactly?
Air bed and breakfast.
Okay.
This is a business. This is like hotel kind of a business, where
Mm-hmm.
you give or rent out your homes to people who can come and stay over there. So it's not a hotel, but it's an arrangement where people can just go on the site. They can book a room for themselves, and they can have like cozy homestay. Right?
Okay.
So this is a very new concept that came in. Okay, so these were two people, Brian Chesky and Joe.
Mhm.
Okay, so they were trying to manage their rent and all. They were staying in San Francisco. Okay, and they were not able to manage their rent. So once there was a tech conference there, and all the hotel rooms were booked. So they just came
Mm.
with the idea, why can't we offer, some air mattresses in our own living room? And they
Mm.
just posted it simply, not a very big site and a simple site. They listed their room and they said that if anybody is interested, we have some air mattresses in our living rooms. And actually, people came up and they paid the rent,
Mhm.
$80
Oh,
per person. Yeah.
$80 per person for single day.
Yes. And this
Oh.
idea is now turned into a full-fledged concept. Now, where they have their own app, their own website, people can go and book rooms for themselves. So, anybody who has like an additional flat that is vacant and they want to put it for such kind of things, so they can just go list their flat there. Anybody who's a stranger can come to the site, select a flat, and have a cozy homestay. So, this was a very
Oh.
simple problem which they can.
Yeah.
How did they start? This is a very important thing we need to focus on. Okay, everybody wants to build an app. Every IT person or every engineer I speak to, they're so obsessed with the thing of having an app or building a website or some fancy tool. Nobody is even interested to even test their ideas if anybody really wants that, right? So you need to understand
Agreed.
it's a market requirement. So for an average person, if they want to really build a business, they need to
Mm.
think about simple problems that they face in their day-to-day life. Okay, and try to come up with a solution that is also simplistic and offer that
Mhm.
solution in their own circle. If people in their
Okay.
feel that yes, this is a idea workable and they're willing to pay for it, it means that it is the ideal business idea.
Mm. Yeah, now I understood. So, average person and average student and have a big dreams of building a big branch or a big business. So, how to find a right idea? Because I was an average student, average person, average skills, and everything in a very medium level. But I have a dream of building a big organization. So,
Okay.
for that, how I need to find a right idea.
I'll help you with my own framework, which I call it as a dream framework. Okay.
Hmm.
Because we normally come up with a lot of ideas, right? But we don't know how to filter through it, which is the idea that will fit me the best. Okay. Because
Yeah.
idea is nothing right or wrong. How well it fits you, that is more important. Right. So I'm just going to explain you with my dream framework, where D stands for desire. So when I say desire, it is passion. What do you love to do? So you can make a list of things that you are very much passionate about. The second point is resolve problems. Okay. You
Mm-hmm.
list down problems that you have resolved for yourself. Problems, these can be bigger problems, whatever, or you feel that you have the know how to resolve this problem. So list down all of those. The
Mm.
third point is E. E means end goals. When I talk about end goals is the cause that you support for. Okay,
Mm.
if you are somebody who is very passionate about helping students, so that is your end goal. Okay, you want to support,
Yeah.
help them in their career growth. Okay, so that is something like your end goal. It's your purpose. Then comes the abilities. List down
Mm-hmm.
all the skills that you possess. So these skills don't need to be the skills which you are the best at, but you all the skills starting from your average day to day personal life, core skills, or supplementary skills. All of the skills that you possess, make a list of all of these skills. Okay, and last,
Okay.
look at the avenues where you can monetize. So list down the things from which you can actually make money. So, like,
Okay.
example, you can be the person who is passionate to help students, but when you have this end goal, okay, you need to understand how can you monetize from this. Okay, because we don't want
Mm-hmm.
NGO, or it's not a purely philanthropical kind of an initiative, right? So we also need to
Yeah.
you need to understand what are those things through which I can earn money by doing this. So when all of these five circles intersect, maybe not all,
Mm-hmm.
but at least four. Okay,
Okay.
somewhere you can get a good idea, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
not passionate about it, you may not enjoy it. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the skills, you may not be able to do it. If you don't
Yeah.
end goals, you will not sustain, right? If
Yeah.
money, you will not be motivated, right? And if you've not resolved,
Great.
you will not even know the pain points. These are the five.
Yeah.
If they come together, you can definitely come to an idea which fits you the best.
Okay, got it, ma'am. Thank you for sharing it. Actually, like it is like a roadmap for the students to understand it. So the next part is like as you said, like if you're following this kind of framework, we can actually understand what kind of idea we can actually pick it up based on our skills, abilities, and taking everything into consideration. But the next step is to find whether that idea is a sustainable idea or not, whether that idea is having a future or not. And also the most important part is that like market research, like we need to do market analysis, market research, how exactly these things need to be like addressed, or else this need things need to be done before we are actually starting the implementation.
Sure. And this is a very important step. See, everybody has ideas. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry will have hundreds of ideas, right? And
Yeah.
they would think that, oh, if I could have implemented. But before you actually implement that idea, testing stage is absolutely very important. Now, this can be done in multiple ways. Okay. Let's focus on the two methods. One is actual in person research, and second
Mm-hmm.
is a virtual research. Okay,
Okay.
let's talk about the first one, that is in person. Okay, so let's say
Mm-hmm.
that you've come up with an idea. You've come up with an idea where you want to build an app where you can exchange your clothes with your friends. Now you think that, okay, what I have to do is, I need a website, I need to, or maybe build an app, I need to get some funding. But before doing
Mm-hmm.
that, you need to do a very simple thing. You need to approach your 10 to 20 friends, talk to them, tell them your idea, and ask them if this is the app they had, would they actually like to exchange clothes through this app
Yeah.
without any app? Okay, just a simple
Mm-hmm.
discussion. If out of those 20 friends, even if three friends say that, yes, I'm willing to do it and I'm ready to pay for it, that means that your idea is viable.
What?
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
absolutely. So this is physical. Now let's go to the virtual, because now we are in the AI era and everybody
Yeah.
wants everything on platter, right? So there are a lot of websites actually which can help you with this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll list down three websites which I use, and I, also encourage my mentees to use. So one,
Mm-hmm.
Answer the Public. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
here you can type the keywords. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can check how many people are asking questions around those keywords. Understand a trend, actually, whether there is a need in the market. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
are people looking for such solutions, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and you can also see whether the trend is increasing, in which regions. Similar is Google Trends. Again, it will give you similar kind of keywords. It will give you regions where these kind of questions are used, or maybe even some alternatives of the same kind of keywords are being used, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
and the third is Answer Socrates. So even that is a similar kind of website. Okay.
Okay.
You just go type some of your keywords and you can see whether that particular question is in trend. Because see, what happens is many times people are asking questions, but you see that over the period the trend is declining.
Yeah, exactly.
trend is declining, it means that the market is already saturated, or maybe it's even a dead market. So
Yeah,
the pointers that you need to take into account before you start your business. You have to test your business idea.
got it, ma'am. It is like before we are taking anything in the market, it is very important to test so that we will understand it.
Absolutely. And you can also
So,
search online. So you can go on Instagram, put some polls. If you have some WhatsApp group, put some polls over there, and you can get, ideas whether people are really interested. And because they're friends, your family, they say, oh, that's a wonderful idea. But unless and until they are, ready to loosen their pocket, it is not a viable idea.
yeah. So, like, I have one thing to ask you that how important is it to test the idea whether it can make the money or not?
Okay.
So, how exactly we need to do that? This earning part, how we can earn money and all.
So what happens is most of the times people forget this step. It's a very huge step which people just skip, and they get an idea, they feel it's a brilliant idea, and they start working on it. Right?
Yeah.
And they feel that they have that perfect moment kind of a thing, and they start working on that brilliant idea. But when they actually get into the market, they realize
Mhm.
that there was actually no need of this idea, because it's not such a big pain area where people actually want a solution to it.
Mm-hmm.
There are different aspects to it. First, people should have awareness about their problem. Second level of awareness is awareness that there can be a solution to the problem. Third level of awareness is that there is a product which is available in
Mm-hmm.
the market which can solve your problem. And the
Okay.
level problem awareness is that I am ready to invest into that solution. So
Okay.
every thing has these four levels of awareness. So
Mhm.
people who are in this last part of this filter where they're ready to invest in the solution, only such
Mm.
kind of problems are viable. They're going to make money immediately. I'll give you with some of the examples. Okay. When
Mhm.
Amazon started, okay. So Amazon started only with books.
Mhm.
When Amazon started with books,
Yeah,
there
selling books.
huge vendors who were into selling books, but offline business. There were hardly anybody who were selling.
Yeah.
They wanted to get into, that everything store, but they didn't start with this entire vision. They started small. They started with books because they
Yeah.
knew that this is something that wasn't very risky kind of an investment. People might just, it's book. Okay, you are
Mhm.
and you're going to get it delivered. So they started small. But at that point of time, the market wasn't ready to buy everything online. So what they did was they went slow. They started with the less risky business, and then they gradually moved upwards. And then later on, like, some at least 15-20 years down the line, they had this everything store. But did they made
Okay.
profit from day one? No.
Mhm.
At least for
No,
10
no, yeah.
they were running losses. So you
Yeah.
trying to say is when Amazon built, online business platform, online selling platform, right? The market
Mm.
wasn't aware. The market wasn't ready. That's the reason
Yeah.
bear losses for so long, so that people get the awareness. Okay, they get the taste of it, and then later on, when they are ready for it, they start buying.
So they are making people to taste online shopping.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
once they're making it as an habit because people who have this habit of reading books, they'll find it some or the other way. They'll find a way to read to find a good books to read. So that was really great strategy to start if the market is not ready.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you talk about Geo did the same thing. People were not
Yeah.
for internet, right? To invest something
Yeah.
in internet. So they started giving things for free. So once you get the taste of it, then they gave,
Mm.
a plan, and then went to the next level, right? That's how they built the product ecosystem.
Yeah, they started with free and complete 1 year free, and then 199 and 299, and now they made it 349. So like gradually they increased the price. So they made the taste. They made all the people from old to young, everyone habituated to using internet, and it almost changed the economy of India as well because people used this unlimited of internet, and they started doing so many things.
But here we have to, note one thing, that they had to put in a lot of resources, wait for a very long duration for them to establish a market which was not present. As compared to, I'll give you another example. Do you know Dropbox?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it is an Indian company.
So yeah, Dropbox, these founders, what they did is, it's like cloud, okay, where you can just
Mhm.
upload your documents type, right? So when they started way back, okay, they did not build this entire app. What they built was a demo product. This is how it is going to look. This is how it is going
Mhm.
to function. Just a demo product. You can actually even go on Google and you can get this video how they actually made this presentation, right? And they made this
Mhm.
small demo product. They took pre-bookings, and when
Yeah, yeah.
pre-bookings of something $75,000, that's when they
Mhm.
invested that in their business, and then they started working on it at a higher pace, because then they understood that, oh, there is a demand. They established the demand, the need in the market, and
Mhm.
then they started working on the product, because here they didn't have to make a huge investment at the earlier stage.
Yeah.
They have got money from the people who invested as pre-bookings.
Yeah, and they didn't even search for investors as well because their investment got from bookings. So
Yes.
that is another important thing to address. And one more thing about this Dropbox. So there is no one CEO for this company. There are all the core people are considered to be CEO. There is only one person who is leading all these people. All the people who founded this Dropbox are the founding members. They are all are from working professionals of big organization. They thought there is a scope. They quit the job and they started in a small penthouse. I
Yeah.
read the story of these people how they exactly started this Dropbox, and I was like, wow. And now it is one of the top companies. They are competing with the top MNC companies out there. Inspiring story to know about it. So idea is finalized. Till now we have finalized the idea. So once that is done, what is the next step that need to be taken?
So next step is you need to make a offer. This is a very important step. Okay. Because even if
Mhm.
your product is ready, if you don't know what you're offering, people will never buy from you, because if there is no offer, nobody's going to come
Yeah.
to you. So you need to make a very irresistible offer, as Alex Armozi says, right? Your offer needs to be an irresistible. Even if you don't know sales and your offer is irresistible, people will still come.
Your offer will make sales for you. His
Yes.
intent is that. Yeah.
It should be a no-brainer offer, or as I call it, in my terms, I call it as your signature offer. Okay, which looks like you and which is unique.
So only single offer can make the sales. Actually, do you really think one offer can make the complete sale? Because nowadays they're bluffing the people. Actually, it is not the actual offer that they're actually giving. The reason behind I'm saying this is once you see this online shopping and all, they place some X amount and they'll cut it out and they'll place another amount 70% off. The
Yes.
month ago, the same price 50% off. So the prices won't change. That offer price will change. They'll do here and there. Then they'll make people bluff. People know it actually, but still they'll buy these products.
Yes, so this is called as sales psychology. So when we talk about sales psychology, it is honestly, it is not about bluffing. Okay, it is
Mhm.
about creating urgency, because
Fear of missing out.
FOMO. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So you know it. See, there are so many shops where you will see that almost every month, all 12 months of the year, you will see that there's a discount of 50% off. But still,
Yeah.
if the stock is very lucrative, you'll still be very compelled to get into that store, because you'll justify yourself saying that, oh, they're offering 50% off. It's such a
I
great.
might have missed this off. This thing will revolve in their mind. Like I might have missed this offer, then I need to buy the same product for a higher amount.
Absolutely. So we already know it. See, when we talk about sales, most of the time we feel that we are thinking logically. Okay, we are
Mhm.
making decision from logic, but that's never the truth.
Mhm.
Everybody
Mhm.
is making decision based on emotions.
Mhm.
It's not, and we then justify it with logic. Why do you think people stand in a queue to buy an iPhone? Are they selling it for free? No, they
No.
created a brand for themselves, which people feel that, oh, I should have it because it's a matter of status.
Exactly. So people feel like holding an iPhone, they feel like iPhone will bring a brand to themselves.
Yes.
So product itself bringing a brand for themselves. So this is one kind of marketing strategy that most of the big players will do.
So again, I would tell you this thing that they are actually solving a problem, and the problem is about status. So people who associate that
Yeah,
with their status, okay, they're solving these people's problem, right?
exactly.
They have their.
Completely agreed.
They always say think differently. So people who feel that they associate with their vision, they would
Mhm.
like to own an iPhone. It's not about the features. It's not about the product. It's about the vision that the organization has. So people who relate with that vision, they actually emotionally feel that, oh, because I am also somebody like them, I am, entitled to have iPhone.
They feel like that. That like that's a crazy stuff for people, typical Indian mindset and typical human mindsets. So this is very interesting thing that I just wanted to know. How important is it to start from 0 to 1? Like 1 to n. That means already working on already existing ideas.
See, there are different perspectives to look at it.
Mhm.
If you look at somebody who is coming with a solution that is an invention, okay, let's take example of it was an invention in itself. Was there anything that was there, something like it? Nothing.
No.
Nobody had this. Okay, nobody did.
Right.
So that was an invention. Okay,
Mhm.
which is from, like you say, 0 to 1 is an invention which is not at all existing, and you invent that solution and you come to the market. Is when you talk about 1 to n, okay, 1 to n is something wherein there is a product, there is a solution in the market, okay, but
Mhm.
maybe it's not meeting the expectation of the people. Okay, so
Okay.
you come with something that is similar to it, not the same. It's unique in its own way, but not exactly same. It's not a invention. It's a that's where I feel that you go from that 1 to n, because it's not something that you have invented. It's been there, but tweaked it, modified it so that it helps to solve the existing problems which the other products are not solving. So both have their own perspective. If you're going from 0 to 1, there's a lot of efforts you have to invest in it. There's a lot of resources that you have to invest. It takes a very long gestation period. But when you go from 1 to n, okay, you may not need that much long time.
You just need to have one feature that we can add up to an existing product.
Absolutely.
So that our product is ready.
Yes.
So that one extra feature we are adding is our USB so that people will come to us. So that is it all about like going from 1 to n.
So I have a different perspective for this. Okay, I feel there are three kinds of markets. Okay, one market is talking about me also, which is a commodity market. So everybody, like the vegetable market, everybody selling vegetables. So me also, I'm part of it. Here, you're talking about pricing. It's whoever is selling the cheapest is going to get the customers. Now there's another
Exactly.
market that is called as me better. So
Sorry?
me better. I'm better.
Me better. Okay.
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 Which means that there are few people who are selling X. Okay. What I do is I add X plus one. So I'm giving few more features and I'm better because I'm giving some more features, more discount, whatever. So I'm better than how they position. And then there is another market that is called as me only market. So here in this market are those people who are in the blue ocean, who have either a very unique kind of a solution. Okay. Like I said, a new invention. Okay. Here are people who are solving unique problems. Solution is there, but they're selecting a very unique base of customers and market, and they're specifically solving only their problems. And there is hardly anybody in that market. So that is me only market where you stand out because you something where there are hardly any competitors.
So how important is it to pick an idea from 0 to 1? Like
So 0 to 1 is definitely very good, but I really want to challenge that by asking how many people really come up with these kind of solutions. There would be hardly any people. So because of this huge obligation on your head that I have to come up with something that is out of the world, groundbreaking, people don't even begin to build a innovative solution. You need to begin. You need to understand the market problems. You need to test your ideas, right? You need to take feedback. You need to keep on refining, and that's when you get there. Not in day one. That see when you talk about Facebook, did they start as the platform today? They didn't. They just started like a social networking site only for Howard. They didn't even have that big. But then when they refined the idea back, that's when they went from 0 to 1.
So even YouTube is also one of the example. Like YouTube is started like a video sharing platform. Then it slowly turned into a public platform where people can actually earn. So nowadays it became like a side hustle for so many people as well. So from nowhere, from a completely different idea to a completely different idea. Somewhere they started somewhere and they landed in somewhere. And also, as you told, the Facebook is started like a college project. They started like a college project, and nowadays people might not know about it. Like the Gen Zs, the people who recently started using the social media. But in 2016, 2015, 16, and at that time, Facebook is like a like the biggest thing in this entire world. There is no other platform that can beat Facebook actually. Everyone used to use it, and now it became an ordinary platform. But one add-on that Mark did was like he shifted the mindset of people from Facebook to Instagram. So that was a huge shift that he did actually. That was a very interesting thing.
Biggest platform. Still, in terms of the number of users, Facebook is the biggest platform.
But the actual shift that he made from Facebook to Instagram, if the Instagram was not founded at that time, if he didn't brought the Instagram, because Instagram was not founded by him, he was actually acquired from the founders. If he didn't acquire this Instagram, we can't expect Facebook can still sustain. Because of Instagram, this Facebook is sustaining now in the market. So that is one of the important thing as well.
Yeah, I was saying strategic acquisitions are also very important.
So that's what they are actually sustaining in the market right now, and they added one more product called Threads, and then he acquired WhatsApp as well. So now he connected all the main conversational platforms into one called Meta.
Yes.
And he was doing so many wonders. So we can't actually go into them. So moving forward, so we have completed about picking an idea, how to get an idea, and picking an idea, doing market analysis and market research and all. And the next thing, how important is it to have a co-founder or else a team to lead an idea or else take the idea forward? This is very a personal question of mine.
Okay. So all of these things, happen with synergy. Okay, let's talk first about co-founders.
You meant synergy me?
Synergy as in you should be there at the same level where you complement each other. Okay, you should be having the same vision. So if you are working with a co-founder whose vision is different than your vision, you may not be able to sustain for a longer period of time. I'll give so many co-founders who have actually worked together and they've always complemented each other. Very important example is about Disney. I'm not able to recollect the names, of founder and co-founder, but they're brothers. One came up with the concept. So he's more of the thinker kind of a person, the founder, that vision. And the brother comes from the implementation aspect. So he is a very good execution. Okay, he's a good implementer. So if these two kind of people come together, it's a very great company that will be sustainable and it will survive for a very longer period of time because the vision is and they complement each other, right? Is it always necessary to have a co-founder? Answer can be a yes and a no. It depends. Okay. If there is a person who is good at strategy, who's a good visionary and who can execute things himself at the starting level, maybe such a person may not even feel the need of, co-founder. But there can be some amazing synergies coming up with co-founders because I always believe that when two people work together, they have different perspective of looking at things. And then amazing ideas and that's how you can grow faster. The growth is 2x.
So when we have a one extra co-founder with us, like the growth can be little faster, you're saying.
But there are criteria that you always have to take care. One, your vision, that is what is your why, is same. You're at the same page, on the same page. And second, you should complement each other. If that is not happening and you have some, rigid way of working where you actually are not flexible with each other's ideas and your skills do not complement each other, it may not be sustainable.
So there is a one application, if you know about Medal. Do you know about this application called Medal?
Not really.
This is a wonderful application which was specially developed for aspiring entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. What they do in this particular application is people pitch their ideas. So if I have any idea, I'll pitch my idea and I'll search for the people, for co-founders, and search for the investors, search for the marketing people, search for everything whichever required for the business to start up. And also people post idea validation, and this kind of stuff will happen in this particular application in itself as well. So idea validation, knowing about finding a co-founder, finding a team, that's the idea, and also we have finally we have got a co-founder as well. So now the next main important thing, the common mistakes that people usually do when they are in the beginner stage.
So I call it as infatuation, falling in love at first sight. So we fall in love at the first sight. That's the biggest mistake. Because what happens is, many a times we've heard this thing that follow your passion, build your business around passion, do what you like. Okay. But passion can only take you to a certain level. What is required is it should be based on what you want to do and why you want to do. Okay, the why is very important. What and how will always follow, but if your why is not clear, want to really do this, it may not really be a very sustainable kind of a business. So that is really important. Passion is one thing, okay, but business cannot be built on passion alone. To have your own why, your end goals. So that is the first mistake. People just get infatuated to a very a sexy idea, okay, and then they just want to go ahead and they want to get into a business, and later on they feel, oh, I cannot sustain. This is not what I wanted. You need to understand what you're getting into.
Like getting infatuation on the first prototype.
Yes, yes.
And not molding as per the requirements also could be one of the mistake that people. Yeah, I did the mistake. That's why you corrected me in the from the starting level. So I got this infatuation on my first prototype, that first thing that I wanted to build on, and then slowly I was started understanding the market and the market requirements as well. It is not like what we wanted to build. It is about what market actually requires. So how important is it to know about the market?
I'll again give you an analogy. See, like I said, I'm author of the book Career Divorce. So where I have explained business, how you get out of your corporate life and build your own sustainable business in stages of getting married, then separating, then getting first, second marriage. So I'm going to give you the same analogy over here. Okay. So you asked me about market research. Just think about scenario. Okay. Can you ever meet the girl for the first time and say yes and get married?
No.
Very few people will do that. Okay. And later on, most of the people cannot do this. Okay? What we need to do, even if it's marriage, what do? We first meet twice, thrice at least. Okay. See if you all both are compatible. See if the families are compatible. Okay. So what are we doing over here? We're doing market research in the most simplest way, right? We are understanding whether our product is the right fit for the market. Here, the market is you and your family, right? So similar, launching the product should right fit for the market. The market needs to have an awareness of this problem. Okay. They need to have that pain. Only awareness is not, going to solve your issue. There needs to be some pain. Okay, if that pain is not big enough, nobody is going to buy your product.
Completely agreed. Completed all the things that are required to start a business. And the final thing is launching the business. So how exactly we need to launch the business? And before that, a quick 5 checkbox we need to tick before we are launching the product.
So first, let's talk about the product. Okay, so whatever product, business, whatever idea that you're coming with, first of all, you need to understand. We spoke about the market demand. Second, you need to understand whether you are actually solving problem of the right kind of audience. So whether your audience is right, you can go to the next stage and then talk about the offer. Are you making the right offer? Then fourth tick box can be about your positioning. How do you position yourself and how are you messaging? Okay, what is the kind of messaging that you're using? What are the kind of words that you're using which are resonating with your audience? Step, when you feel that all of these 4 steps are done, then is you go and make a launch of your product. Okay, it doesn't need to be the entire, just go for the MVP, minimum viable product. Okay, go for the version of the product, don't go with all the features. Okay, launch your MVP. Once you launch your MVP, the story doesn't end over here. You need to go to your audience. You need to check whether whatever you're offering to them that serves their purpose, get feedback from them. So
then the product is ready to launch.
Yes. So once the product is ready to launch, again, see, it's an iterative cycle always. Business is never static. So once you launch a product, you need to get feedback from your customers, keep on refining your product, come up with the next version of it.
It's about complete iteration process. We take feedback, implement the feedback, and work on the project and retake the project into the people. It completely works on the feedback.
Absolutely.
So we also successfully launched the first product, and now the most important thing, the reason behind we started the business is finding a client.
Yes.
So how to find a client? It is
finding a client. So actually, if we follow all of these steps, okay, we know. See, before you, let's say, let's go back to the same example of getting married. Okay, until you don't know what kind of a wife you need. Okay, what kind of a partner you're looking for? How are you going to know that this is the right person for you? You need to understand. Whom do you want to help? Whom do you want to work with? What is your target or your ideal audience? Right. First stage is you need to understand that. You need to know more about them. So once you finalize that, let's say you want to work with, say, students in your case, like, okay. So you need to actually speak to them. Like I said, the market research. Okay. So what we're doing here is, like you said, how am I going to find the right customers? We start right from the beginning. Okay. So when you choose your ideal audience, you understand what are their problems, what are their aspirations, who they are, what they want, what is their lifestyle. Understand everything. Understand their entire Janma Kundali. Right. So you have good understanding about your audience. Okay. When you have a good understanding about your audience, marketing is a very important piece here. Okay. I would say you need to start marketing even before you build your product. So you need to have your customers ready even before your product is ready. And how do you do marketing? You do this marketing by using the right kind of message. So how do you use the right kind of message? You can use it only when you know who your audience is and what are their pain points, what are their challenges, what are the aspirations. So you need to tweak your messaging so that your audience understands. It's about, the language. So if there is only French, okay, you need to learn French and speak in that person's language. If you're talking to that person in Hindi, okay, he's not going to understand. Right? So the messaging is also important. You need to talk in their language so that they feel that you are the right person who can solve their problems. And that's how, you build their trust. Okay. And you start showing up every day. Okay. That's the beauty of marketing. You have to be there out every day, solving some problems, giving out some tips to your audience. And when they look at you every day, that's when they build the trust and they look at you as an authority.
Yeah, agreed.
Authority, the audience is going to come to you.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. So for marketing, most important thing is digitalizing ourselves in the social media handles. So is that one thing sufficient, or any other things that we need to do in terms of marketing? Marketing the product.
Yeah. So in the earlier world, everything required money. But today, with social media, marketing has become free. Okay, organic.
Yeah.
Organic piece of marketing. It's absolutely free. You just need to show up every single day. Right? If you're able to do that, what you're doing is you're building your visibility. When you're sharing, adding value to people's life, they look at you as an authority figure. When you come up every day and you're solving their problems and you speak in their language, that's how you build trust. So when you build trust, people are going to come to you and buy from you.
Trust is something like a synonym of brand. Okay. Yeah. So once the brand got built, we need not to go to people. People will come to us. So example like Tata company. Tata company won't make much marketing, but people have this brand in their mind whenever they wanted to buy any product like cars or anything. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing it. And as we are also digitalized ourselves and found our first client, how important is to make a product, modify a product in the second prototype, making the changes in the product based on the responses.
Okay. So again, let's get back to the example of Amazon. When they understood that the market is reciprocating with books, they came up with the next. They added.
Yeah.
When they found that, oh, this is also working fine, they went on to the next level. So it's very important that you start with one single thing. Nowadays, people feel that I need to offer everything to everyone. Okay, but that's not how things work. Okay, you need to be the category king. You need to be the authority or the best known person in what you are doing. So when people think about that specific problem, they should always think about your name. Do one thing, okay, and then keep on adding the layers to it. So that's basis, how you get feedback from the market that, this is what I need. Take the feedback. See, every feedback is not going to be the right feedback. Okay, of course, there needs analysis in that, which is the right kind of feedback you have to pick up. So you can pick up those feedbacks which are very core to your product, and that will increase your product sales. Okay, so take those feedbacks, implement those feedback, and see if that is something that is working. Sometimes even just by changing the packaging of a product can have a huge impact on the product itself.
Premium packing.
In your childhood, I don't know whether you have ever had these calcium tablets. It was called as, it was in a nice
yellow color and red lines.
It was called as calcium sandos, I guess. It was in this puppy shape bottles. Normally, and they were flavored, all kind of flavors and chocolate flavors also, all these flavors. So especially kids were very, reluctant to have these tablets. So they came up with a very innovative idea. What they did, the ingredients were same. They just changed the packaging. With a very innovative pack. And that's something that attracted the kids, and they had another market for themselves.
Got it. It's all about changing ourselves based on the requirement of market. It's not about, also considering the feedbacks of the people. Only we need to be in a situation where to find those feedbacks are right to implement or not. It is not implement. If it is not like taking all the feedbacks of the people, it is like taking the feedbacks of the people which really makes sense to the product. So yeah, that is also one of the important things. So as we also evaluated our product to the next second prototype as well. So one quote that everyone need to have in their mind while they're building a brand or a startup company.
I don't know quotes of any famous people. Okay, I would put it in my own words. Something comes to my mind. Yeah, something comes to my mind. Okay, I have this picture which I show in my webinars also. It's mentioned that if you don't work on your own dream, people will hire you to build their own dreams. I guess even you use this quote, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I cannot actually verify who the credentials who has made this quote. There are a lot of people who claim about this, but it's a very interesting thing. And it at some point of time in my own career, it hit me very deep, and it made me think about it. That what am I doing? Am I really adding value? Am I really using my own potentials? And or I really
Mhm.
am interested in building somebody else's dream. So this is something that if you really think through, maybe it can give you a direction what you really want to do.
Exactly. So that's that's one quote that I always believe in. Like one of the quote. So if you're not building your dreams, or else someone will hire you to build the dreams. So I guess this was told by
It is mentioned as Dhirubhai.
Dhirubhai Ambani. Yeah, it was mentioned by Dhirubhai Ambani. Yeah, yeah. This is one quote, and if you ask me, like other quote was, "Let your destiny take to your destination. You need to put your efforts. It's all about putting your efforts and trusting the process and trusting the journey as well. So that is also one thing. So if you could suggest three books for the people who are thinking to start their entrepreneur's journey.
Okay. So people who are yet confused, okay, I would ask them to read the book. I don't know whether you have heard about this, Out of the Maze. So here you'll understand whether you really want to get out of that box and look at life outside the box. So that is in terms of thinking. People who know they want to do something, okay, and they're speculating on why. So I would suggest this book, which is very close to my heart. Start with why. Then next book, if you're somebody who is very innovative in nature and want to look at business from that perspective, then the book Zero to One is for you. If you're somebody who's already into business and wants to scale it, for them I would suggest a book called as Expert Secrets. All the
How about you? You also wrote your own book, right? Like, can you tell us like what is that book all is all about?
Sure. So yeah, my book, the title of my book is Career Divorce. So
Mhm.
this book is about a journey where from your childhood you have certain dreams, then you get realistic in life, and you pick up a job, well-paying job,
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
climbing the corporate ladder until a time
Mhm.
where something inside you starts telling you that this is not me. Some people listen to that voice. Some people just say that, oh, that's okay, I'll deal with it. People who listen to the voice, this book is for them who want to listen to that voice. Okay, how you can
Mhm.
come out of that constant tug of war in your mind, where one says that stability, other says, do what you really want to do, what is your purpose, follow your calling and all. So it's
Mhm.
always a tug of war inside your head. So people who really want to get out of it, this book is dedicated to them. It's a journey how you can get out of these struggles, right from the mindset, the emotional turmoil that you go through that phase, right? And I have tried to make this book look so simple, like it will actually look like a relationship. How you get married early, okay, and then you realize that maybe this is not the right person, and then how you start to separate your ways, part your ways. Then
Mhm.
after you are ready and you part your ways, how do you understand that who's the next right person? Okay, how do you find that right match? How do you start living together, right? And
Mhm.
then how do you actually take this relationship to a level where you go to the final vow that you can either say happily lived ever after, or until we die, or until I have put this book in kind of a journey where people can understand whatever problems they're going through, the questions that they are having for themselves, how they can get out of that mindset, those emotional problems, how they can find their own purpose, okay, how they can work on the habits that they can sustain this purpose, how they can come up with their idea, build their brand, and then
Mhm.
establish a product that is sustainable in nature. So this
Yes.
is from your corporate life to building a purpose-led business.
Sounds interesting. Suggestion for the people who are actually wanted to build something for their own.
So I have this one suggestion. Don't wait for the perfect idea. Action is more important than the idea being perfect. So just go
Okay.
out and start exploring. You need to act like you are a scientist. The idea need not
Mhm.
be perfect, it needs to be testable. So keep on testing the idea, okay, and keep on refining. Sometimes you might feel that, oh, this is not the right idea. Go to the next one, go to the next one. So just be out there, build your courage muscle, keep on working. So just don't stick to your one perfect idea. There is nothing called as one perfect idea. There are a lot of ideas which I
Yeah.
just keep testing.
I completely agree with it because it's not about the idea; it's about the execution as well. And one important thing I forgot to ask in middle: how is it important to follow passion or profession to go for a 9 to 5 jobs,
Okay.
or you suggest people to work on their passion, give some spend some time, work on it. What would you suggest? Work on their own passion, or else go to 9 to 5 job, work like that?
Okay, that's a very interesting kind of question that you ask. See, I'll tell you. Like we said, how many people actually come up with innovative ideas? So you said it maybe 1,000 times or something. Hardly, right? There are hardly any people that really come up with that idea. So what is actually
Yeah.
stopping anybody from actually getting into business is fear. Everybody wants a
Yeah.
stable life, right? So
Yeah.
something that is very lucrative for people because you get a paycheck at the end of each month. So what happens is most of the people just forget their dreams and just get into a 9 to 5. So I want to talk to people like these because most of the people are afraid that they will not get that stability, that safety that they want, because of course they also want to
Mhm.
sustain life. They have their responsibilities, right? I
Mhm.
believe in this concept of, see, we have heard that, have you heard this phrase that success lies out of your comfort zone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Heard it? Okay. So what
Yeah.
happens? We say that something is out of the comfort zone, you become very fearful of that thing because it's not my comfort zone. So you always fear it. So what we need to do is we need to expand our comfort zone gradually instead of aiming for things which are outside your comfort zone, because that's where the fear zone starts. And we are not, biologically, we are not manufactured to handle fear. Okay, it takes a lot of effort. So rather than
Yeah.
that small, little by little, go on expanding your comfort zone, right? So what I
Mhm.
suggest is, if you are somebody who wants both passion as well as profession, okay, get into a job and simultaneously start something on the side. So I am a big believer of this thing that is called as a side hustle. Okay, so start your side
Mhm.
hustle, gradually grow. Once you feel that your side hustle is able to match at least 50 to 60% of your salary and your other expenses, and you feel that it's viable, maybe that is the time,
Mhm.
based on your risk taking ability, you can decide to get into business full time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing it. It actually makes sense because if you're coming out without having that a trust of that we can make bigger than this, can't actually. It doesn't make sense if we are coming out actually. So thank you so much for sharing it, ma'am. And finally, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your inputs, and also the lot of information. I hope this would help the people who are watching it could start something by their own, and they'll get some idea. Actually, they'll get some idea. It is not like if they watch this podcast they can start their own they can start their startup. It won't work like that actually. It's like, because the reason behind me saying this was people are getting this fancy being feeling fancy of saying I wanted to build a startup company because like how people are projecting through podcasts and other medias are like they're bringing big successful peoples to the podcast. What they do is they'll ask their success journey, how they did, the funny things, the serious things, and the risks that they have taken, and the achievements that they have got. But those people, one podcast can't decide anything. It's all depends on your efforts that you're actually putting to build something for your own. So that's what I wanted to say.
Rajesh, I would like to add one point over here. You should also bring stories of failures, because all of these successful people have grilled themselves, okay, through
Yeah.
so many years, and that hard work. Nobody sees those many years of hard work, right? And only after that hard work are they getting success now. And when they see that success, we call it as luck. And
Yeah,
so we also need to
exactly.
on the failures also all these people who have gone through. It's a learning point.
Exactly. So that is already there in my bucket list, ma'am. So soon I'll be bringing those as well in the
We're
podcast.
looking forward.
So that is like few things. It's all about journey, I believe. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks a lot for sharing your information, knowledge, and everything. And looking so much, ma'am. Once again, thank you. Thanks a lot.